lovely boys of Twilight have finally entered. We're getting a Lego Game Boy and a fun interview discussion on the Star Wars gifts with purchase, minifigures, and so much more. That and much, much more on this week's Breaking News. Today's episode is brought to you by Back to Brickware, my newest venture into the A-Full merchandise, the ultimate Lego-inspired clothing line that's not just fashionable, but also celebrates the very foundation of the Lego system we all know and love. Imagine minimalist designs that seamlessly blend style and nostalgia. Back to Brickware brings you high-quality apparel inspired by the iconic Lego bricks we know and love. Each piece is crafted with precision and attention to detail, making it a must-have for any Lego enthusiast. These aren't just your average threads. We're talking about minimalist designs that don't scream at you, but just show your nerddom in a classy way. And of course, they're inspired by designs found in the Lego system. And you know what screams quality? Embroidery. Almost every piece is stitched with love, featuring those iconic Lego elements. It's like wearing your childhood memories, but making them fashionable. So whether you're a hardcore A-Full or just want to rock some seriously cool gear, check out the Back to Brickware page on Etsy. Dive into the collection, embrace the Lego spirit, and let's make some memories together. Back to Brickware, where the style meets nostalgia. Head over to the Back to Brick Etsy page and let the fashion adventure begin. Happy building, my friends.
Lego.
Breaking news.
Hey everybody, welcome back to
Breaking
Back to
news.
Brick. I'm your host Garrett, and this is the podcast where we talk with fellow A-Fulls about their Lego designs, and we get down to the breaking news to talk about all things Lego's been up to for the past week. Thank you for tuning into the podcast. If you're new, welcome. If you're old, thank you for continuing to listen to this podcast. I always appreciate the support, and if you could actually by subscribing to the podcast as well as the YouTube channel, I would really appreciate it. And I also want to thank the patrons over at Patreon who have been huge supporters for a while now as they continue to help support the Back to Brick brand as we continue in the transition process, trying to make this something bigger and larger in the Lego community. Bellefonte Brick Studio, Jimmy Tucker, Ryan S., David, Matthew Vander Boogart, Paul Snellen, Lee Jackson, and Pop's Block Shop. Thank you for being supporters. I really appreciate all of your help. On the admin side, I've been working on trying to come up with a new strategy for the Back to Brick Instagram and YouTube channel. As well, I've finished up my main challenge, and I'm trying to figure out what to do next. And I have decision paralysis because there's too many really good ideas that I would love to do. I just need to actually, execute and decide on something. And I'm not very good at making those kind of decisions because I don't know which one is always the right one. So I hopefully will figure that out. I have a couple designs that I've been working on, and I've posted on Fridays. I'm going to do my recap of my Brickstorm, which is pretty much my brainstorm of what I've been working on throughout the week and what I look to work on here in the future. So you can check that out. But today we're going to be talking about the breaking news, of course, and we'll be doing our set reviews. The first one is going to be set 10363, Leonardo da Vinci's Flying Machine. And for our rubricable mock review, it's going to be the SR71 Blackbird by Dean_1. So I'm excited to talk about those at the end of the episode, so stick around. All right, let's jump into this week's breaking news. Our first story, Valentine's Day is right around the corner, so you're going to see, of course, men and women running into the Lego store to get a bouquet of flowers because, they don't die, and it means that you get some fun time to build together. But there's also going to be a new gift with purchase, the Valentine's Day box, which it looks just like a large-scale heart with a ribbon on the side, and then when you open it up, there are going to be chocolates. It's a lovely display piece as well, where you can put it on this little flower display at the bottom, and I think it's a great gift for like a one-time gift, I'd say, because, I don't know where you're going to really put it unless you want to put it as decoration every Valentine's Day, but I really don't put out Valentine's Day decorations. There's more just for the large holidays. It's 172 pieces, and you'll get it with a purchase of $75 or more. There's also double VIP points for a few sets as well. It's not a ton. We've got mostly the Botanical series. There's some of the Chinese New Year's ones, and that's pretty much it. I think a total of 9. So if you're not interested in getting those around the holiday time frame, then you're probably not going to get them, and double VIP points are not a lot since they're not an expensive set of sets. So this is Valentine's Day, and at least you can get a gift with purchase with that purchase of flowers that you're going to get for your significant other. Lego's unveiled the Trevi Fountain. This is set 21062. It's an 18 plus set at 1,880 pieces. Funny, it's 18 plus 18, I thought it was funny. It's $160, and it will be available on March 1st. A lot of things are coming out March 1st. February kind of gets skipped because January was such a large month. Now, they did the Trevi Fountain before, but it was on a smaller scale, and this is quite a bit bigger at 1,880 pieces, and it looks beautifully done. It has some beautiful details for the water feature, having the different colorings to it, the statuettes, and of course the waterfall section to it. If you've noticed, they just finished the renovation at the Plaza Polyfacade, and it does look just similar to this, made out of Lego bricks. But this is far cheaper than flying over to Italy at this point. But yeah, check that out on March 1st. Bluey sets have finally got a countdown clock. We're going to be getting them on June 1st. Now, there isn't a total idea of what sets we're going to get. It is 6, and 2 of them will be a Duplo. And I think the most expensive one right now is at $90. So I'm wondering exactly what it will be, but I hope we get some really cool minifigures to go with this, as I will be collecting. Well, at least to get most of the characters for sure. I don't know about buying the Duplos because, well, Duplos, as I've said before, is a little bit out of my age range. There's a new Minifigure series book for a visual history, and it's getting an exclusive minifigure. They always like to do this for a lot of these books. I love the visual history books, as you get to see the full history of, well, whatever series. If they've done Star Wars, Marvel, and minifigures have a long history going back to the beginning of Lego. So they get to show the molding process, the different designs. Very cool. And it hasn't been announced official date yet, but you can go over to Amazon and get that pre-ordered. Lego is coming out with a Game Boy. It released just after I had posted last week's episode, but this is a big thing. And it isn't going to actually come out till October of 2025, which kind of sucks that it's not coming out for quite some time and they already teased it, but I'm excited to see what they'll do with this. It's unlikely we'll get Pokemon, as someone said, because it's still under the license for Mega Bricks, and I think we'll get Mario for sure. I wonder if there'll be some action features to it. And of course, it's got to be the handheld mode. Maybe we'll get some other models with it. Who knows? I hope we get not just this one, but a bunch of the other ones, as I've already built the SP. I built the first DS. So I'm excited to release those. I have the instructions for the SP, which will actually be in the description if you want to buy that. But October is the date. We're going to see another endeavor with Lego and Nintendo. Lego is releasing a new education set. This is called the Education Sciences, and it shows this detailed image of a nice box, I'd say, or a container that has multiple sections to it and more booklets of how to build. It has 3 different kits age 1 through 3, 4 through 6, and 7 through 9. The first one has 277 pieces, 1 double motor, a USB charger, and building instructions. The next one has 335 pieces, 1 motor and 1 controller, and 2 connection cards. And the last one is 424 pieces, 1 double motor, 1 single motor, 1 controller, 1 color sensor, and 3 connection cards. Quite a lot. And with the Education Sciences, it focuses on, well, of course, science and STEM. And there's going to be a bunch of different builds that you can do. The connection cards kind of give you that information that you need for some of the hardware. So this was, I love this endeavor into the STEM program, as they've already done quite a few in the other educational areas. This one will be a great added addition. LEGO Ideas 90s contest has closed for the first set of builds, but the second set has just opened up where you can build up to 1,000 pieces. And I've actually entered 2. One is the Men in Black Neuralizer. If you know it, well, then you probably have not been your memory erased. And then the second one's going to be the Magic School Bus with 2 different modes that you can put it in. Really fun builds that I had, and I can't wait to hopefully get those passed into the next qualifying section for fan vote. But if you could leave a comment, any comments, the more and more you have, the more likely the team is going to be, oh, well, it seems like a lot of people like this. So I will leave those in the description so you can go and support those in the comments way until we get to the fan vote. There's details of a new gift with purchase that's going to come with the other rumored Star Trek model that is going to come out on November 28th. This gift with purchase is going to be one of the Type 15 shuttle pods, which is a smaller type of shuttle, kind of old school from one of the older Enterprises. And it'll come with Ensign Ro, which she was a big impact on the Star Trek Enterprise and I think one of the movies as well. And then she came back in the Picard series. So that's an interesting minifigure of choice. Hopefully it'll live up to the hype because, well, I'm hyping this up a lot. Fortnite is now a official Hatsune Miku minifigure. The character actually is a Vocaloid software voice bank, or essentially a virtual musician that you can use. It performs concerts and holograms on screen and video games alike. So this is a fun addition, kind of a cyberpunk take to have this minifigure included as a skin in LEGO Fortnite. I wish they would do more of these skins as actual minifigures because a lot of people love these characters and they should definitely have them as ones that you can collect. Maybe a collectible miniseries for Fortnite is on the way, hopefully. LEGO's Force of Creativity book is going to get its revamp finally. We already had this one released at $150, but it's going to change now to a little bit of a lesser price, about half the cost. It's expected to come out sometime this fall, but it's getting just a slight redesign. Instead of the silver, it's going to get a gold. It is still a hardcover book, but it also will not have the exclusive like minifigure prints or some of the large posters. But honestly, I'm okay with that. $312 book as a hardcover coffee table book that isn't $150 sounds much better to me. Even discounting even further would be great, but this is a fun book for all those Star Wars fans that want to get a behind-the-scenes look on what came to be for the Star Wars franchise and what we expect here in the future. The Bricklink Designer Program Series 4 is coming out very soon, come February, and they're doing their mini build contest, which they do for every series. Whoever wins gets one of the newest models that is coming out, and the minifigure series and the mini build series is it's always a fun little thing. It'll run through January 27th, so you can build a mini model of one of your favorite builds then and possibly get one of these sets as a gift. There was recently a podcast episode talking to the head of marketing over at LEGO that, has left, and they talked about the VIP card that LEGO came out with for the Ultimate Collector Series Millennium Falcon. And unfortunately, there was some discussion on why a lot of the programs didn't actually go through. It was supposed to have some really fun exclusives to it. The only thing we really got was some poly bags that, a lot of people probably could get on otherwise, like at Toys R Us for DJ from The Last Jedi Star Wars. And then you get the card grave, which is what you could slide your card into and display it as, someone who purchased one of the first ones. It's unfortunate to see that didn't work out. A lot of it was based on marketing and, branding as well as product creation, and the team wasn't really that big, so they had to deal with LEGO insiders as well as the LEGO insiders from the black card stance, and unfortunately it just didn't turn out that way. So I'm wondering if they will do something else as they have larger teams, but it's probably not going to happen as LEGO doesn't want that exclusivity to cancel out other people trying to get these sets as well. In the similar interview that they had for the VIP card, it talks about why they changed from VIP to the insiders. And it seems that LEGO wanted to do that and it seems that LEGO wanted to cater to everyone in not having exclusivity. We decided to look into what VIP meant to people. A lot of people said they didn't know what VIP is. If you buy one a year for your kid, are you a VIP? So they wanted to change the program completely as they were doing the reward center, that they decided they did a ton of research and landed on insiders, which I think is a little bit of a harder name to say, but VIP does seem exclusive and that you had to pay for it. It's free. So changing the name and the program, I think in the long run helped. It's still just hard for us ingrained in the VIP program to say insiders points, not VIP points, at least from my take. In the interview, they also talked about why we're not getting as many exclusive minifigures for the Star Wars Gifts with Purchase. And he goes to say, we all love minifigures. It's not that we need to keep it into a set. A lot of the time, it's just that there are things you can't do. According to Jason Whiting, you may have a license agreement for stuff that like that, and then the license covers building sets, not minifigures. Minifigures are figures, so if your license doesn't cover that, it's not something you can do. So that's been, I think, some of the limitation on doing these, and that's why we get a lot of repeats. And it took a long time for them to probably come up with some of these other polybag sets and minifigures that we got a while ago. So hopefully we'll see that change here in the future, but they need to get those licenses so they can do that. There's a turn for the Speed Champions Fast and the Furious car. It looks like we're going to still get the Suzuki pink Honda S2000, but it's going to change a bit, where the prints are going to be changed up, as well as having some different design aspects to it, that it might not be the bright pink. The accuracy could be a little bit different, and having a Speed Champion set in this form is definitely part of the line that they've done for Fast and the Furious. So I hope that they still keep to that, since we don't have many of the female figures in Speed Champions. This would be a nice addition and change to that series. LEGO Ideas has announced their latest creation, the Twlight, the Cullen house. This is set 21354, and it's going to be 2001 pieces and come out on February 1st at a cost of $220. It comes with 7 minifigures, including Bella Swan and, of course, Edward Cullen and the family. And it even has a sparkly effect, which is kind of cool, and Jacob Black, which is the werewolf to it. The house itself it's nice. It's a modern style house like we saw in the movie, but $220 for this is quite steep. Maybe it's because of the minifigures, but there's not much creativity in the set. I mean, they've got the piano, they've got some of the different pictures and books and stuff, but I mean, I like the house. I would buy the house, just not because it's Twilight, just because it's a cool house. So yeah, we'll see how it turns out and be released on February 1st. There's a new LEGO Mosaic Generator, and it uses Substance 3D as well as Esprit, and it takes a lot of the different photos and, using 3D scanning, creates the 2D of the artwork that you'd like. And the goal was to create some fun projects to it, where it's not just the 1x1 tiles, but it uses different detailing to have like the 1x1 tilings that are rounded, as well as some 2x2s and larger, to create some depth and engineering to it. And there's a whole process to it. It's not as easy as you'd think, unfortunately. And hopefully it just can be a plug and play one day. But right now, there's quite a few steps to get it to that point. Still beautifully done and easy for people that know what they're doing to it. All right, everyone, that is the end of this week's breaking news. Pretty quick, not as much as it was for January, but that means that we're just going to get more and more. March is usually going to be a big month, as we see the F1 cars coming out, and then May is just right around the corner. Just time flies, so look out for that news, and make sure to subscribe to this as well as the YouTube. All right, let's get into our set reviews. The first set is going to be set 10363, Leonardo da Vinci's Flying Machine. It is an 18 plus set at 493 pieces. You'll get 325 insiders points, and it does come at a cost of $50. There's 25 reviews so far at 5 stars. That's a pretty well designed machine to have it at such a low cost and have the reviews at 5 stars. What is really beautiful about it is that it has the wing-like structures that we see in the drawing, which looks like bat wings, and it even has the use of the new curved stem pieces to have the outward stretch of the wings and attachments so that it holds on tightly. The structure does flap its wings, which is also cool, and it does come with Leonardo da Vinci and his drawing. The push that they've had on the inventors and creators and builders, like they did with the Eiffel Tower, with Eiffel himself and Galileo, is really a testament on continuing with education and sciences. And at $50 for 493 pieces is a pretty balanced deal for it. And I love the detail that they've done to it. It's well designed with some creative aspects that make it look just like the drawing that we saw from, well, quite a few years ago. I'd say hundreds of years ago. So that is our set review on the official LEGO set. Now onto our rubricable set, the SR-71 Blackbird by Dean Dash 1/I think it is. I have it in the link, and then you can go and check that out so you can see their designs as well as this one. Now this set is 2,862 pieces, and it comes with a plaque as well as 2 minifigures, and it is quite a large build. It is 15 Aussie dollars, which I think that's about $12 or $11 in the United States. It's pretty big, It's a 1-to-1 scale of the minifigure. It's 1 meter in length, so 50 centimeters in width. It has detailed cockpits, 2 cockpits for this one. Some of them are usually 1 cockpit, but this has the secondary. It has, as I said, the UCS plaque, moving elevators. It has wheels as well as a stand for it. Now, the SR-71 Blackbird, unfortunately, will probably never be built for LEGO because it is a military aircraft. It didn't have any weapons on board, but it was used for observation. It is the fastest aircraft that we know so far that's traveled how many times the speed of sound? Over 3 times the speed of sound, and the highest record for a flight. It has some insane engines and truly an incredible marvel of engineering, and it is just well done. It is having it as a large model will be harder to display, but I honestly think it would be great for any U.S. Air Force or military or aviation enthusiasts to get this alongside their Concorde, which the Concorde's pretty big too, so you probably could find a space for this. But it is super well done, and I cannot wait for to see something like this in person. Maybe it'll end up at a convention that I'm at. And make sure to go over to the YouTube channel to see some of those videos that I've been working on as well. All right, everyone, I'll leave you as I always do. Get creative, get out there, and go build something.